So for my Buddha family, I sort of determined that I was Vajra just based on the characteristics. I just felt like that was what was most like me. So one of the first things that really stood out to me in the characteristics was the mirror-like wisdom, and I wasn't really sure what that meant. So I found it, and it says um, it's the embodiment of mirror-like knowledge, and so it's about having knowledge of what is real and like what is illusion. So being able to tell the difference between like what's reality and what is just someone's perception of reality. And so the next thing is enlightened style is clarity, precision, and I feel like that like when I am doing work and if I really get into what I'm doing, then I can be really precise and like everything I'm doing, it's very clear. Like I know exactly what's going on. So I would definitely agree with that. Defilement is anger. I definitely agree with that. That's one of my downfalls. It's just like it's hard to just not let the little things make you angry. I wish I could just let it go sometimes, but sometimes that's also difficult, but I'm working on it. I understand that's why it's my defilement. um, Neurotic style, aggressive and irritable. Also, yes, I agree. When I just get in a certain mood, just everything, I just feel really aggressive, and every little thing makes me so irritable. And it's just like, I'll say to myself, like, what am I doing? Why am I acting like this? But for some reason, it's like so hard to come out of it. But yeah. So time of day, early morning, that makes sense. I'm a morning person. Season, winter, that really spoke to me because that's my favorite season. Um, and the primary function is thinking. And that's something that I was a little skeptical about at first for me because I also saw for the karma family that the primary function is doing. And so I was thinking, like, well, I'm not really just a thinker, like, I'm more of a doer. But then someone kind of brought to my attention, like, in order to do something, you don't just do something, you think about it first, then you do it. So that makes sense. Um, and so that's from this book. And now for Mr. Hayes's analysis. So the element that relates to the Vajra Buddha family is water. And so the theme for that is knowledge leads to power. And it's associated with self-discovery, strategy, and individuality. And it said it's sort of a type of scientific mind, which makes sense to me just because when I think about that, it's about like wanting to know the truth behind things, which also goes back to the mirror-like wisdom, just like wanting to know the reality of the situation, just not what a perception of reality could be. And I definitely get that. Like, I'm never satisfied with the answer, like, oh, I don't know. Like, I always have to search for the answer until I find out what it is. Um, yeah, so it says, we want to know that we are right. We all want to know the truth about what's what. We all want to know who we are and who we are meant to be, and we search for our own unique life for the secrets to attaining personal fulfillment. And so, water is the level of intuitive gut level reaction. There is a tendency to react with an inner emotional response to situations as opposed to an outwardly discernible response. In its most positive manifestation, the water influence results in a scientific personality, so back to the science, removed from hopes and fears, coolly observant from a proper distance. In its most negative form, this results in an isolated personality, cold and cut off from all concern for others, even seeing all others as potential enemies. So that was a part that I wasn't really sure if I agreed with because I guess I can be kind of like cold and cut off sometimes. Like with my family, like if I'm upset about something or I just need to be left alone, like I will just lock myself in my room and not want to talk to anyone. But I don't really do that with my friends. Like I never really say like, go away, leave me alone, don't talk to me. So that part was a little like iffy for me, but most everything that it talked about, I definitely agreed with. And I think it really matches my personality. Yeah, and then the positive water, the characteristic is innovator. So this part I thought was really interesting. The positive water influence produces the James Bond or Indiana Jones troubleshooter character who knows the secrets for turning disaster into victory. Like Detective Sherlock Holmes or inventors Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, the person under the influence of the water element uses all at hand scientifically and enjoys using everything at hand to meet challenges. So yeah, that I thought that was really interesting how he just kind of compared other people to how they would relate to the water element, because that just made me relate to it more and just think that it was really interesting. Um, and yeah, the negative water is it's called like schemer and mad scientists, and it says they try to topple those who have bettered them, and preferably in a manner in which victims don't even realize what happened. I mm, I might do that. I'm not sure, in the sense that, like, yeah, I guess if someone makes me like mad, I'll just kind of okay. But the thing about me is, if someone makes me mad, then I will tell them. I'm not the kind of person to just be like wishy washy, not like just avoid it and then, let it come out as small passive aggressive comments. I'm the kind to like immediately go up and confront them and say, look, you did this thing, it made me upset. Can you please not do it again? Or like, do you want to talk about it? Um, and that's a trait that I really like about myself, but I couldn't really find that in water. But most every other characteristic that was found in water, I definitely agree, is my personality.